Hi everyone, welcome to another crafty Christmas at dolallycrafts. I'm Karen, an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator based in Victoria, Australia, down on the Mornington Peninsula. I'm here today to give you another tutorial on a Christmas card. This time we're not using DSP from a Christmas suite. We're actually using the Tranquil Textures Designer Series paper. It doesn't look very Christmassy, I'll admit, but I thought this paper and I think it's mint macaron version, actually don't look too bad as Christmas papers. This is the Balmy Blue, and this is the one we're going to be working in today. Now, I'm still waiting on my other Christmas snowflake stamps to arrive. So I brought out my Flurry of Wishes, which is an older stamp set, but it does I think this came out the year that I joined Stampin' Up, so it's about 3 or 4 years old. But as you can see, it's got a selection of different sized snowflakes that are very ornamental. I really liked this set when it came out, and I had to go through because I've had this card in mind for days and days and days. I really wanted to use a non-Christmas type paper to show you that you could actually go through your stash of papers and find stuff that may not be Christmas type paper, but that you can use to make a Christmas card that's very generic. And I think I did really well with this. So as I said, I went through my hoard and I found my Flurry of Wishes stamp. So I'm only using these 2 stamps out of that. And also the Perpetual Calendar, which had a lot of little snowflakes in a cluster. This stamp set also came out about 3 or 4 years ago. It was discontinued last year, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, it's got snowflakes in as well. So I thought, I didn't put the little snowflakes on this one, but I had to put a bit of vellum behind the big snowflake because these ones detracted from it behind. So let's get ahead. Let's start with making it now. All of the dimensions, as usual, can be found on my blog. If you would like to purchase any of the products, apart from the retired ones, any products that are used in this demo, you can find the links to my blog below, and if you click on any of the items listed in the description, it will take you directly to my online store. Okay, as I said, all of these dimensions can be found on my blog. You'll need a couple of scraps of Whisper White and also a scrap of silver foil. Okay, now I've got all of my dies sitting here ready to go. So I'm just going to bring in some vellum and trim off a piece of vellum that I can use to cut the circle. Even though I'm going to use smaller snowflakes in the background, I still think that the vellum circle behind the snowflake just gives it that added bit of... So yeah, I'm going to stick with that. Okay, so I'll put the card base out the way because I don't want to make a mistake and stamp on the wrong thing. I will bring in my Balmy Blue. This is one of our new colours, so I don't use it very often, and that's why it's a little stiff there. So I'm just going to stamp the letters out. Here we go. I've got them all mounted, but I'm going to take the E off and just stamp the N, and then bring the E back in, pop it on the other side, and just stamp it there. No, that one's bent a little. Whoops. I'll do it on the other side. There we go, that's better. So they can go aside. Now I've got a little bit of washi tape on each of these letters because most of you will be aware now I like to run my die cuts upside down through my Big Shot, because I think they cut so much nicer done that way. Okay, let's line all of those up and bring the E in. And what I mean by running it upside down, excuse the mess of my cutting plates, but they are really well and truly loved. Most people would run them through like that. So you've got your die up the right way. I prefer to run them through that way, because that way the roller is actually going over the part that you want to cut. And the same with my snowflake. I'm just going to pop that there. Now I should be able to fit all of this in. There we go. Pop the snowflake there, and then my vellum circle like so. Okay, I will pop my lid on and I'll be back in a moment. Right, and now I'm going to show you with one pass through the big shot. Everything has been cut really cleanly and will pop out straight away without any problem, except for the fact it's stuck to the washi tape. So as you can see, they've all popped out really easily. Just get rid of the scraps. And the E, they're big dies, but there's the circle. Of course, vellum's going to cut very easily anyway. Now, here is the snowflake. Now, this was cut upside down as well. I'm looking for my die brush. I know it's here. Okay. Give it a quick brush with the die, and it's actually popped out of the die itself. But if I bring in my paper piercer, you will see these pieces pop out so easy because they've had a completely clean cut from the get-go. That's all of them, and how simple was that? As I said, very intricate die, but comes out in a snap. So I'll just get rid of all of this. And let's get on with our card. So we've got a card base, we've got our paper, and we've got our mirror card. Move the mirror card and the base out the way. I'm going to bring a scrap of paper in because I'm going to be stamping off the edge of this paper, and I don't want it all over my backing paper. Okay, so in with the Versamark, which is a clear sticky ink, and I'm just going to give these a stamp like that, and then I'm going to bring in my silver embossing powder so that I can see where I've actually stamped. I'm looking for a scrap of paper to... I did have spoons in these. I don't know where they've disappeared to. Okay, let's see. And I've just realised, unlike the first time I did this for the sample card, I didn't brush over this with the embossing buddy, but it looks like it's actually gone over okay. Maybe a bit heavy in some spots. So what I'm going to do now is heat these up. Pop the embossing gun down for a moment, and I'm going to bring in... Where's my small ones gone? Okay, just some small ones. In there. And in there. I'm just going to pour the embossing powder on. Beautiful. Okay, the rest of that can go back in there. Just pop that over there for a moment. And let's bring the heat gun back in. Go. Doesn't that look beautiful? Okay, I'm just going to... I've got embossing powder everywhere. It doesn't matter what you do, it gets into everything. Okay, I want to lay this down and keep it nice and flat for a few minutes. What am I going to do in the meantime? I'm going to put this onto our backing card. Now this has got a 1/8 inch border all the way around. Pop that on there now to keep that flat. That's actually flattened that out quite a bit. Now this part is going to take a little while to do, so I will speed all of this up so that you don't have to sit and patiently watch me popping these on. Okay, as you can see, I've got dimensionals on everything there. I've actually mounted a dimensional behind the snowflake and another dimensional behind the vellum, because I want the snowflake to actually sit higher than the letters. So that's now well and truly adhered, so I'll pop that aside for a moment. I'm going to bring my paper in, which is now creased again, but that's okay, it will flatten out eventually. Okay, now I'm going to, what have I done with it? I do have a square ruler here somewhere. My square ruler's gone walkies. Here we go. So I want my square ruler to give me an even straight edge to pop my letters along. Okay, we've now got the initials or the letters added. Now I'm going to place my star in the middle. Now I could have it like the, I don't know which way to have it. I actually had it like that on the other one. I might pop it like this on this one. No preference really. Okay, so all I need to do for this to finish the front is just pop one of our clear faceted gems on the top there, and that's the front panel finished. Now I've got to bring in the rest of the card and then coat this really nicely with glue. Because it's so bent, I want it to sit nicely on the cardstock. So I'm actually popping the nozzle right against the paper so that I get a really good coating. Make sure I've got the card upright. I will have a small amount of wiggle room on this, and this gives us a very narrow border. As you can see, it's an 1/8 of an inch border all the way around, which is just enough of the silver showing through. There we go, that's really nicely adhered. Give it a good press down. Now I'm going to open the inside and bring in the sentiment, and the sentiment will be done in the Balmy Blue as well. And this one actually is from the Flurry of Wishes, and it matches really nicely with the front of the card. Sending you a flurry of warm Christmas wishes, and then just to finish the inside of the card off, there we go. So that's the inside of the card finished. Pop that away, get rid of all of this stuff that's sitting around here. Move it away so it's not distracting. There's the card I've just finished now, and here's our sample card. As you can see, it doesn't really make a difference what way you have the snowflake. Either way looks really nice. I think this card is really, really pretty, and I love the paper that I use. Now, you get 2 sheets of the blue and 2 sheets of the green in the Textured Impressions set, the Tranquil Textures. Now, if you were into reds, you could even use the Fresh Fig. And if you wanted to give it a gold bent, there's crumb cake in there which you could edge with gold foil and a gold snowflake and the gold embossing. I think that would look really nice as well. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed today's card, and it'll give you an idea to go through your old stamp sets, your old or you know, any of the DSP you may have laying around, and see if there's not something you can make Christmas cards out of just to use some of your stash. Okay, everything, well, a lot of the stuff isn't available, but the snowflakes will be available as of the 1st of November, and I'm hoping that this card goes up after the 1st, so you should be able to get some snowflake dies, and there's even a stamp set which has got some really nice new snowflakes in it. So that's all from me, enough waffling. If you want to leave a comment down below, that'd be fantastic. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. It's enough waffling from me for today, and I will see you all later. Bye-bye.